So Trump goes to Scotland, a place where his mother was born. Remember, she's an immigrant to the US, and tries to escape the Epstein saga. This kind of runaway that Trump was doing was not an official visit. He didn't really have anything to do there. He just went to play golf. I mean, he actually cheated at golf. He was filmed with one of his caddies dropping a ball for him to take a swing at. We know that Donald Trump cheats at golf. It's kind of a metaphor for how he cheats at life and cheats at being the president of the United States. Cheating whilst running the country and certainly cheating his way into future elections as well. This is who Donald Trump is. And I think we've all worked out now, and we're all kind of in agreement that he bad person. But this trip, which was at great expense, the people of Scotland were responsible for the cost, the public purse paid for the security and the increased police presence and all of the sweeps and everything that had to be done for Air Force One to land in Scotland and for Trump to transfer over to Turnberry, his golf club, which he thinks is one of the most beautiful and amazing in the world. The hotel there that he stays in and the presidential suite. I've seen on YouTube a video that somebody made of that room, and it's disgusting. I mean, the cleanliness is appalling. There was blood stains and poop stains and urine stains on the seats and the sofa and the mattress.
What's the state of the mattress look like? Oh my God. Oh my God. Not quite sure if it's rust, if it's something else. Blood? I don't know. It's weird. A few stains on the chairs in here. Another little writing desk. I think I might have to put a stain counter on the screen at the minute. That looks like that's blood to me. I'm just quite surprised, being the presidential suite and the scratches on the wall, the stains on the furniture.
It really is in terrible condition and kind of falling apart. But, you know, again, that's Donald Trump all over. The public rooms were beautiful. If you were to kind of go in and look at the ballroom, you'd be like, yeah, this is really impressive. But the moment you kind of get into those private spaces, even the presidential suite at the very front of the hotel overlooking the golf course. So he's there. The Scottish people are furious about the fact that he's come to Scotland. They don't appreciate him. He is not welcome there, despite his family heritage and despite his investment in these golf courses. And yet again, he's doing the lines about the windmills, which of course are wind turbines that generate energy that most countries, including China, are investing in so as not to use fossil fuel, which incidentally the US decided this last week that carbon emissions do not contribute to climate change. So, you know, that's what's going on in the US. So he makes to the cameras, he makes his usual quips about, you know, you've got to get rid of your windmills. They're killing the birds. Wind turbines don't kill birds. They also don't kill whales. None of that is true. I'm convinced that he thinks that they kill whales because there was a story about wind turbines in the country of Wales in the United Kingdom, and he confused the two. That's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with an imbecile. And so the imbecile then thinks, how can I turn this into an official visit? Because obviously, I'm charging this to both the American people for the cost of flying over here and then to the Scottish people for the cost of hosting me. And so he invites Keir Starmer, the British Prime Minister, to come for talks, and Ursula von der Leyen of the European Union to come for talks, and they kind of sit in this kind of awkwardly large ballroom to have meetings for the cameras. And he does several press conferences, all of which are an unmitigated disaster, where he makes no sense. He's kind of randomly talking about the ceiling and redecoration. He kind of can't be drawn on the Epstein story. He says, oh, well, I'm not really thinking about that story, which of course everybody knows is entirely untrue. And then he cuts this appalling deal with the European Union for 15% of goods, these tariffs. I mean, you know, it should be completely free trade between these allied nations, completely free trade. But Trump, again, still does not understand this concept of reciprocal tariffs. He thinks that if you're buying less from us than we are buying from you, then you're ripping us off. He doesn't take into account the fact that other nations have much smaller economies. They have a much smaller requirement. They don't need to buy as much. The US is a much bigger country with a much bigger economy, and therefore is invariably going to be the senior partner in trade relations. But of course, he doesn't see that. To him, everything is transactional. And as far as he's concerned, if you're buying less from us than we're buying from you, then you are ripping us off. What a terrible, sorry state of affairs that is basically breaking up alliances, causing people to give up on the United States, and it's affected tourism and as well as trade. People do not want to go to the United States anymore for fear of being ambushed by ICE or having their cell phones stolen by immigration officers at the airport. There is the appetite for the US right now is very much on the down. Inflation is on the rise, and Trump's tariffs, deal-wise, he has done 1.5. It's Europe basically in a kind of concepts of a deal with the United Kingdom. Talking of the UK, Keir Starmer was completely blindsided by Trump's behavior. He just kind of sat there grimacing at him, didn't really know what to say, wasn't able to kind of step up because Trump is impossible to communicate with. He's a narcissist. He does not volley. You can't talk with him. Everything is a game of one-upmanship. He wants to have the last word. The one thing I thought was fun was where Trump says, he was asked by the press, are you going to London? He then goes, in his brain with the weave, he's like London, Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, Muslim. So he goes, that mayor's doing a terrible job. The mayor of London's doing a terrible job. Well, Sadiq Khan is from the Labour Party. Keir Starmer is from the Labour Party. So Starmer kind of speaks up and goes, oh, well, actually, he's a friend of mine. And Trump just completely ignores the Prime Minister and goes, he's doing a terrible job.
I'm not a fan of your mayor.
Why not?
I think he's done a terrible job. The mayor of London, but a nasty person.
He's a
friend of mine. No, I think he's done a terrible job.
The only terrible job that Sadiq Khan is doing in London, as far as Trump is concerned, is being a Muslim. It is a remarkable thing that Trump, as an outright racist, is still being afforded these platforms. And unfortunately, the media, their questions were terrible. They didn't hold him to account. They didn't push back on anything. And Trump was just allowed to do his usual diatribe. So in terms of an event, it was weird. It didn't really make much sense. Starmer and him were talking about this state visit that has been extended, and Starmer had to pretend that it was unprecedented because no president has ever come for a second state visit. And you could see Trump really enjoyed that. What Trump doesn't know is that they've purposely arranged it whilst Parliament is in recess, so Trump doesn't have to address the British Parliament, but also that King Charles has decided he does not want a private audience with the President of the United States because he's an imbecile. So they've just stuck with the state banquet, and that'll be it. There won't be any of these kind of private meetings or parliamentary meetings. And so it's a bit of a cop-out, but Starmer is clearly trying to blow smoke up Trump's backside and appeared to be successful at doing that. But for any of us who know Keir Starmer and any of us who kind of recognize what's really going on here, he's just trying to sugarcoat this to make Trump feel a little bit better about himself and play into his insecurities and that malignant narcissism that is kind of pulsing through his veins.
This is an unprecedented and very special state visit. This has never been done before. There'll be many elements of it that have never been seen before. So this is going to be a historic occasion, and we're all very much looking forward to it. And I was very, very pleased to be able to put forward the invitation when we were at the White House earlier this year. So this is not just a state visit. They're always incredible occasions, and this is an unprecedented second state visit, so you can imagine just how special that's going to be.
The fact that it's never been done before, and that's because it's non-consecutive, and it's the only reason it could be, made it even more interesting, frankly. So it's going to be great. And being with Charles and Camilla.
Aside from Trump cheating at golf and basically having embarrassing press conferences, not much has changed. Trump is still very much the focus of the Epstein files, and he can run 5,000 miles if he wants to. But they're still going to catch up with him. I'm Anthony Davis. You can find me on the 5 Minute News YouTube channel and podcast, on Wednesdays co-hosting Uncovered, and on Sunday on The Weekend Show with MeidasTouch.
The truth is more important than ever. Check out our new Truth Over Lies collection at store.meidastouch.com. All 100% USA union made.